This is Etc., featuring people and events of Texas A&M University and the surrounding community.
Welcome to ETC. My name is Fallon Appleton, and today we are going to be discussing everything that's going on in College Station. On our segment, we are going to be discussing residence life. Now we have General Ramirez and Mr. Krenz here to talk about residence life. Please, will you all tell me about yourselves?
Sure, my name is Mike Krenz. I work with Residence Life. I'm one of the associate directors there, and I work primarily with our university apartments, our Corps of Cadets, and also with a lot with our construction.
General Ramirez?
My name is Brigadier General Joe Ramirez, and I'm the Commandant of Cadets at Texas A&M University.
Great. Mr. Krenz, what do you do?
Well, I work in Residence Life, and I oversee all of our staff that work for Core Area Housing. I oversee our staff that work for our university apartments, and I work with our new construction and risk and compliance in our department.
General Ramirez, what does your daily life look like?
Well, I oversee all activities with the Corps Cadets, so I'm responsible for the health and welfare of 2,500 young men and women who've chosen to become members of the Corps Cadets, and that's everything from their housing to their discipline to their academics to you name it, uniforms, covers a wide variety of activities, but I'm responsible for their health and welfare.
So you're pretty busy.
It is. It's a very busy job, but also very rewarding.
Great. So what would you say some of your awards are that you get out of it?
Well, probably the biggest thing is seeing young men and women go through 4 years in the Corps and graduate. One of the most rewarding parts of my job is I attend all the commencements, so I get a chance to see all the cadets get their degrees and shake their hands and congratulate them. And then another big part for me is also getting to see young men and women commissioned into the military. Having spent 31 years in the military myself, being a graduate of Texas A&M, it's very rewarding to see these young men and women who have chosen to serve our country during time of war.
That's wonderful. Mr. Krenz, how did you come to be in your position?
Well, I came to my position here through a kind of a roundabout way. I did retail for a while. I was in the military, in and out of college, working for a couple different jobs, and I really just fell in love with working with college students and providing a safe environment, a fun environment for students to live on campus, and as General Ramirez said, a really rewarding job because you get to watch them go and become better students, better adults, and graduate from college.
So what made you want to be in residence life?
For me, it was really all about the students. It was really all about working with young people who are always excited about being here in college, always excited about learning something new. I was no longer had to chase the dollar like I did in retail and other jobs that I had. I was really about helping young students succeed in life.
So, General Ramirez, why was now the time to renovate the quad?
Well, the quad was first built in 1939, and it hasn't had a really serious renovation since then. They've had a couple of renovations, but they were relatively minor. And when I came back in 2010, one of my first goals was to try to establish some type of strategic vision for how to renovate the quad. It needed it badly. For me to be able to bring young men and women into the Corps, I needed to show them good facilities. So the time had come for us to really give the quad a facelift, if you will, to bring it up to a 21st century standard.
So what were some of those aspects of your vision that you had when you came back in 2010?
Well, first and foremost was to renovate the dorms. We needed better dorms for our cadets. They were old. The facilities were old. They were not up to date. We had some dorms that had no Wi-Fi capability, for example.
Wow.
We had some bathrooms that were pretty old and antiquated. So the first and foremost, it was to get the dorms up to a standard that were more befitting our cadets in a 21st century environment. And then the second piece of that was to bring in some academic facilities that we could put resident on the quad where our cadets could access some state-of-the-art facilities to be able to study and improve academically.
That's great. Mr. Krenz, what changes should we expect in the finished commons?
In the finished commons, when you look at the commons today, you're going to see from the outside a lot of the same things, but on the inside you're going to see completely different commons. We're taking it down to concrete and steel and completely redoing it. So you'll see brand new game rooms in there. You'll see some multi-purpose rooms that students can come and use and have anything from dances to movies, those kind of things. You'll see places for students to eat. The whole basement will be completely dining when the students return to the facility. So there'll be all new concepts, places to eat. The chart bowls will be running down in the basement. And also, again, some of the same things, mail center, offices for the South Area office, but I think most importantly, an up-to-date facility that students can really be excited about going there. And we're trying to go for a living room feel, kind of a living room for students. Everything from studying, new living and learning center, to playing pool and ping pong, to having an event with their student organization.
So would you agree now with the core side being updated as well, now with the commons being updated, the whole south side is seeing a whole new facelift, and it's going to be one of the new futuristic aspects of the campus?
I agree completely. I think when we did Hullabaloo Hall, people flocked naturally to Hullabaloo Hall. There's a brand new, exciting, everything the students ever wanted living on campus. And I think we're going to see exactly the same thing on the south side of campus, both for the cadets living on the south side and for the non-cadets living on the south side are going to be able to have some new and exciting facilities on campus.
That's awesome. So General Ramirez, what changes should we expect for the finished quad?
Well, the first off is all the dorms will be renovated. All 12 dorms will be completely brand new, bigger rooms, bigger bathrooms, better quality air conditioning and heating, better air quality through a better HVAC system. That's first and foremost. We're going to have 4 leadership learning centers on the quad now. These are centers devoted to academics for our cadets with computer labs, study rooms, tutoring rooms. We'll have 4 of those resident on the quad. And the interior of the quad is going to be completely renovated. Brand new paving, brand new landscaping, new benches, new lights, and more importantly, brand new trees to replace those that were cut down when they started the renovation.
So when will all of these changes be expected to be done by?
Well, we're planning right now the August of 2017 is when the quad will be completely renovated. We'll have everything done, and our cadets will fill all 12 dorms for the start of the 2017 school year.
So how do you believe both the core and the students for the commons have handled the transition processes?
Well, I think from a core perspective, we had to make some adjustments to just simple things like formations. We have cadets living in the commons today while the dorms are being renovated, but they've adjusted well. Everything from formations to where we step off for game day, they've adjusted very well. They're very flexible. And so for us overall, I think it's been an easy transition for our young people.
And how do you believe in the commons? How's the transition been for the students?
I would agree with what General Ramirez said. The students have adjusted very well, very fast. Like any renovation, there's going to be dust and noise, and there's going to be, have to take a new route around buildings, a new route around campus, but the students have adjusted well to it. They're looking forward to the upcoming changes. I think probably the biggest change that the students have had to overcome is where to get dining. There's no dining right now in the South Commons, so now you have a lot more students going to the MSC, and then also going over into the core quad and going to the Duncan Dining Center there. So actually it's kind of interesting to watch some of the cadets and non-cadets interact more at Duncan Dining.
So, Mr. Krenz, what are some of the challenges associated with designing and renovating a well-traversed destination on campus?
Well, probably the biggest challenge is coming up with what the students want, because you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money and then create something the students don't want. So the biggest challenge was getting to that bottom line is what do the students want. So we spent a lot of time talking, bringing the students in and having focus groups with them. The architects spent time with them, engineers spent time with them, and coming up with the best design we could. And then probably the next biggest challenge was making that renovation successful, but inside a box that already existed. We didn't get to build the outside. We didn't get to redo the outside. We had to stay inside those 4 walls. And so those are probably the biggest challenges, but I think we did a great job of coming up with what the students want and still limiting in a limited square footage.
So have you been able to have any student input on the design process?
Absolutely. All the way along we did. All the way up till we started taking down walls, and we've still involved some of the students, because students will be involved in choices such as what food is going to go into the basement portion of it. And they're also going to be involved in what exact type of finishes we're going to do. So we've been involving them all along.
So General Ramirez, what's been your favorite part of renovating the whole quad area?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that we're finally going to provide our cadets a 21st century living, learning environment that they deserve. There's been a lot of development at Texas A&M in the time that I've been gone since 1979, but the quad, there wasn't a whole lot done there. So to see the quad completely renovated the way it's being done right now, for me is very exciting and very rewarding, because our cadets are finally going to live in what I consider to be a 21st century living, learning environment.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We will be right back to discuss nightlife in College Station.
Ready, set, go! Television's new car authority is hitting the street with cutting-edge 4 doors, family-size haulers, awesome big rigs, the ultimate dream machines, and the information and advice you can trust.
Timing belts need to be replaced on a regular basis.
Get the best of the automotive world every week. Join me, John Davis, for Motor Week.
Welcome back to ETC. My name is Fallon Appleton, and now we're going to be discussing music in College Station. Joining me, we have Callan Brown. Callan, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm 22 years old. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Currently an A-Led major, or Ag Leadership. And I've been playing music around town for about a year and a half now.
So when did you first get started in music?
Since I was a kid, I've always been, I guess, singing. But I didn't really play any instruments. So around 8th grade is when I first really got into playing the guitar. And then from there it was piano, and then from there it was a couple other things. And then I got to College Station and started gigging about a year and a half ago, and that's really when it started going for me, and I decided that's what I want to do.
So where are your favorite places to play in College Station?
Well, I've played a lot of places. Currently I play every week at a bar called Basil Whippets. And now we're doing it on Wednesdays, and that's a lot of fun because it's a bar scene. It's a little bit different than playing at restaurants. But I used to play at the Republic, and that was a really great place. Hullabaloo is really fun. A lot of the restaurants here are all really good atmospheres for it, so it's tough to choose just one. But right now, Basil Whippets is one of my favorite ones. It's just a fun gig.
So when would you say is your most impactful music experience you've had?
Oh man, that's tough. I could think of probably a few. Back when I was younger, I want to say 8th grade, I'd already played guitar, but the first time that I sat down and played piano, I learned a song called Boston. And I can't read music. I actually play by ear. And so my buddy was like, you should go home and learn the song. And I was like, I don't even play piano. And then once I did that and realized that I could play just by hearing something is kind of when I realized this is cool and I really want to do this and get really into it.
That's so great. So what's your favorite music to play?
Well, I started off doing worship music when I was younger, and that still has a pretty big impact on a lot of stuff that I do now. But I love guys like Noah Gunderson. He's got a lot of acoustic songs with harmonica. Ryan Adams too. A guy named Matt Corby, who's Australian, is one of my favorites right now. He uses a loop pedal for his vocals and his guitar, and I just think it's an incredible sound and talent to really go out and do.
So is there one particular artist you like to play over the others?
I bounce around a lot. I would say right now or recently it's been a guy named Matt Corby whenever I do covers around the house and things like that. And then let's see, Nathaniel Ratliff's another one. Ed Sheeran's got a lot of really fun stuff. Everyone seems to know and like him a lot. So playing around, I play like 150 different songs, so it's tough to choose just one, but I guess it depends on the mood and kind of what month it is, I guess.
Yeah, so how do you describe your music to people?
The stuff I write is very much more acoustic and I'd say laid back, almost sad. I like sad songs, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but if you like sad songs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I would say it's more kind of mellow and alternative, but I love blues and jazz, and it just kind of changes all the time.
So where do you see yourself as a musician in 5 years?
Well, I'm hoping to be making a career out of it. I'm not sure if it's going to be performing or working in the studio or where exactly God's going to put me, but I want to move to Nashville once I graduate, and that's the game plan, and from there, some way, shape, or form, perform in the industry and make enough money to be able to support myself doing it.
So if you could dabble into any genre of music, what would it be?
I love the blues, and I just don't know enough about it. Like I said, since I play by ear, there's a lot of stuff you got to know, I think, from what I understand, in order to be able to really do it right. But it's a lot of what you feel and like your own interpretation. So I think it'd be really cool to get more into blues and even like jazz stuff.
So when did you discover you could really play music by ear?
I want to say 8th grade. My mom will tell you differently. She thinks since I was a little kid I've been doing it. But for me, it was in 8th grade. like I said earlier, the first time I really sat down and played piano without really knowing it, that was when I think I first really realized it. And then when I started learning other instruments, that's when I kind of realized this is special.